Did we just miss a huge hint about Kawaki and Code's first battle? And how did Boruto foresee it all? With the reveal of the first time skip chapter, the only hope for the infamous flash forward panel of Kawaki are now the flashbacks. So will this scene fit in the story after all the new developments? And could it be a hint for a clash between the Kama trio in the past? Let's find out. The scar on the left eye of Code has become a bigger mystery than Konoha's destruction from the time skip. We know from this anime opening that it's Kawaki who's gonna bring havoc to the leaf very soon. His outfit from the Hokage mountain fight also hints at the same. It seems like this apparel has been inspired from Jigen, along with a scarf resembling the outfit of Code. So could it be that Kawaki is the one who's behind Code's scar and he's about to kill him in the upcoming times? Well, the answer could be a yes, only because there is a clue from chapter 75 which strongly hints at this possibility. The glimpse of future that Boruto had about the omnipotence incident also comprised of a scene where Kawaki had blood on his face and is looking down upon a fallen opponent. The thing which needs to be noted is that he's using the second Kama stage in this scene, which means it's not the Scar incident of chapter 78. So is there any chance for this panel to make its entry as a flashback, and how is Code involved in this? Well, before getting there, let's understand how this glimpse of future power actually works. When this foresight of Boruto came true, it was revealed that not every sequence that he witnessed was from his point of view. Like this glimpse of the Hokage mountain and the Konoha Jonins, Boruto never looked directly at them back in chapter 79. This means they are not from his point of view, confirming the flash forward having mixed fragments of the future. The one where he faces off Mitsuki and Team 10 are definitely from his perspective. The Sarada panel is a bit tricky, but it also seems to be from Boruto's point of view when we compare these panels side by side. This means the infamous panel of Kawaki could either be from Boruto's point of view, or it could be that this event was taking place right before Boruto's eyes. Many people think Ikimoto had mistakenly drawn Kawaki in his second form. However, there are some way too obvious hints which debunk this assumption. First and foremost, all the events from the glimpse of future have taken place after the omnipotence incident, and this scene has already taken place in chapter 78. So saying that the very last panel was planned for an earlier chapter won't make much sense. Secondly, Kishimoto hasn't officially retconned anything in the Boruto manga so far, so making assumptions about the removal of this event won't be a good idea either. And finally, when the Kama trio appears in the very first chapter of Two Blue Vortex, it says that the vortex of fate collides again, which could mean that the three of them have clashed in the past as well. So how exactly did they meet for the very first time, and how does this scene fit in the story? Well, by looking at the face of Kawaki in this panel, it seems like he has got someone's blood on his face after slashing them off with his cyborg arm. Leaving the Kama stage difference aside, when he slashed the eye of Boruto, his attacking angle was completely different than the one shown in the flash forward. There is no way for this scene to appear from Boruto's point of view, and even if he sees it as a third person, just like some other glimpses of future, Kawaki did not pose like this while slashing Boruto's eye. So now that we know this panel is indeed from a future event, which might now appear as a flashback, let's figure out what happened when the vortex of fate collided for the first time. It was revealed by Code that he had been looking for Boruto from the last 2 years, which means he must have met him a year after the events of chapter 80. What's interesting is that we got to see a scar on Code's left eye, which many people speculate was inflicted by Sasuke. But what if Destiny had planned Kawaki to cut the opposite eyes of Boruto and Code? What I mean is that there could have been a battle between the Kama trio in the past, where Boruto must have realized how weak he really is, and Kawaki attacked the left eye of Code, leaving him with a scar. It could have taken place exactly 2 years before the current events. But how did Kawaki get involved in this, and what happened to Sasuke? Well, I think Sasuke was the key for Kawaki and Code to track Boruto. He shouldn't be able to erase his chakra signature like Boruto. This could have helped the bad guys to track them down, and upon Kawaki's arrival, Boruto's Kama must have resonated, making Kawaki aware of another way to feel his presence. I don't think he didn't try to go out of the village and search for Boruto all these years. The stubbornness of his character hints at him becoming a traveler after Aida refused to help him. So when the spiral of destiny struck for the very first time, Kawaki must have felt like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. With just a single year of training, he must have been able to crush the left eye of Code and make Boruto disappear and train for almost 2 years. But did he actually turn so powerful in the very first year of the time skip? Well, the answer could lie in the Daikokuten dimension, where Kawaki was shown to move freely and watch over his beloved parents. What's interesting is that there is no flow of time in this realm, which means Kawaki's attainment of moving here is a truly unreal feat. Remember the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z. I think this dimension of Kawaki works in a similar manner, and he could have crossed all the limits by training here, cause there is no restriction of time. Talking about getting more powerful, if Kawaki has arrived at his maximum potential by the means of self-training in his Daikokuten dimension, then it's very likely for him to get an Otsutsuki mentor in the future, similar to how Goku and Vegeta train with gods in Dragon Ball Super. Otherwise, he won't be able to go beyond his current potential, no matter there are thousands of years of experience in his karma. But if he really wants to get rid of all the Otsutsukis, he will need some extraordinary training or a lot of chakra fruits. The reason for Court's inferiority is the fact that he is too dependent on his goal of feeding Boruto and Kawaki to the Ten Tails in order to become more powerful. He doesn't have a special eye like the Jogan or a timeless dimension to train for infinity. The only card in his sleeve was the Grime Army. Keeping them aside, both Boruto and Kawaki can easily defeat him in a one-on-one fight. Until and unless Kishimoto has planned something huge for him, that would give him an epic comeback. So if it's not Sasuke but actually Kawaki who crushed the Eye of Code, could this mean that the mentor of Boruto is still alive? Well, I think we can figure out his destiny by understanding the similarities between Boruto and Kawaki's ocular powers and how they use them. Kawaki having the 8-triangle Dharma Eye in the time skip implies Boruto having a similar feat as well. A recent theory connects Boruto's clairvoyance type power from the anime and his unexpected drop from the sky, hinting at his true powers from the True Blue Vortex. It could be that Boruto has mastered the Jogan, and that's how he smacked the face of Code, by appearing out of nowhere from the sky. This could also mean that he also has access to a spare dimension, just like Kawaki, where he could have sent Sasuke. But even if Boruto doesn't have the Jogan, I believe he must have used the karma to send Sasuke to a safer place when he faced off Code and Kawaki. The lack of Rinnegan makes it impossible for Sasuke to come back, making this nerf a blessing in disguise that saved his life. Now let's get back to the glimpse of future, as there are a few questions surrounding it which need to be addressed. First and foremost, this power of peeking into the future is somehow related to the time stoppage ability of Momoshiki. The monster seems to bend the flow of time and starts creating blueprints of the forthcoming future, letting Boruto glimpse into it. The time frame of these visions could even have a gap of months or even years between them, considering the Kawaki incident took place a year after the previous events. However, if this panel doesn't make its way to the manga, then it seems like there are some inconsistencies in the foresight power of Momoshiki and its visions are liable to change, similar to how the monster was so certain of taking over Boruto after he loses faith following the Omnipotence incident. It's safe to say that if Sasuke didn't appear to help Boruto out of this situation, the prediction of Momoshiki might have turned true. Maybe this panel of Kawaki was also a part of the future that Momoshiki was hoping for. It could have been at this moment when he would have taken over the full control of Boruto's body. So what exactly stopped this event from taking place? Well, I think Momoshiki can't go against the desire of an Otsutsuki god or someone who has the power of omnipotence. In this case, the desire of Aida to have some real friends was the key to Boruto's preservation. The female duo, being unaffected from her charm as well as omnipotence, ended up in Sarada asking her father to save Boruto. If they had also been affected, then it seems to me that Boruto would have surrendered his consciousness to Momoshiki. The theory that I believe is the most sensible when it comes to Sarada and Sumire's immunity could be the desire of Aida to have Kawaki only for herself. We know both the female prodigies are in love with Boruto, but if omnipotence had worked on them, they would have been in love with Kawaki. Maybe Aida didn't want any romantic competition, which kept Sarada and Sumire immune from her powers. Coming back to the second collision of the Vortex of Fate, how did Boruto appear out of nowhere in this scene? You can find your answers in these videos, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.